Netta Palokallio, Helsingin Sanomat. I am asking about the current situation in Ukraine. Question for both of you. What's the message that Baltic Nordic countries are trying to deliver to Trump at the moment and to President Stubb? As you are meeting with President Trump on Thursday, what's on the table? Do you, for example, believe that Trump might impose sanctions on Russia? Thank you.
Sure. I think the basic message is that Ukraine is in a better place than they were a year ago. And there are reasons for that. Their military capacity has strengthened. And if you look at the situation on the battlefield, we are speaking about a war of attrition where there's very little movement one way or the other. In the past, roughly 1,000 days, Russia has advanced only 1 percentage point of Ukrainian territory. In the meanwhile, of course, we've seen developments in the Sumy region over the past few days and weeks that have shown Ukraine's capability to advance. I also think that the Russian economy is not in a good place, which means that their interest rates and inflation is over 20%, which means that their reserves are close to zero, which means that their economy will not be growing this year, which means that they will probably have to increase, for instance, their value-added tax. Having said that, never underestimate the capacity of Russians to sustain an economic decline. So my message, and in the conversation that I'll have with President Trump on Thursday, we'll look at a lot of the facts on the ground. And I can also bring messages from my recent visit to Kyiv, where I had a chance to have one-on-one conversations with President Zelensky and also get an extensive security briefing of the situation on the battlefield. Then it is, of course, up to the President of the United States to decide what he does with the information. I keep on stressing that the President is very curious in gathering as much information as possible and then, of course, draws his own conclusions. My final point is to say I think President Trump began from a position where he tried softly to persuade Russia to end this war. That was the carrot phase. And of course, with the latest language that he has put forward, I see a stick emerging. How big that stick is going to be is in the hands of the president himself.
Yeah, and maybe not much to add here other than Iceland stands united with like-minded countries in asking for just and lasting peace for Ukraine. I think the stick is partly in the hand of the United States president, but also I would say in the clever setup of the use of the frozen assets, which is in Europe's hands. And I think those two are the responses that are needed to get to a just and lasting peace and broad-based solidarity amongst those of us who need to live in a world that is rule-based, where sovereignty of nations is respected. So that's very much where we're at, I believe, and hopefully we're coming close to peace in more places than one.
Alec Nehum, MTV News.
President Stubb, you obviously covered this a bit already.